Hey, welcome back to the second dating game where we are going to be super judgmental about Pokemon based on their first appearances and make assumptions about where they take us on a date and if we would go on a second date. If you guys enjoy this content, please consider liking and subscribing so I can bring you more of what you want to see. Thanks. Let's see what Dr. Mr. Fuji thinks of his next date, Kakuna.
Alright guys, we don't need to rehash this. It's just, it's Metapod, but it vibrates better.
Ooh!
So, yes, second date, art museum, moving on.
Wow.
He looks, I know Metapod was hardening a lot, but he looks more phallic.
He's like sexier. He's wearing a tie.
He looks like he should be attached to Caterpie.
You know what? So, you basically are replacing your Metapod.
I'm just saying it goes about the same way.
He's only 2 feet tall, but he's 22 pounds. He's thick.
Is this a comeback for you? A comeback from your Metapod?
What do you mean,
Obviously, if you're going on a date with Kakuna, things didn't work out with Metapod.
Oh, like a rebound?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think things with Metapod would have lasted very long. It would have been a short but fun relationship, and Kakuna is like Metapod, but being that it's a bee instead of a butterfly inside of there, it's, it moves a bit faster.
Okay, his abilities are shed skin, so that's kind of hot, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whose skin is he shedding, though?
I don't know if you guys know shed skin as an ability, but what it is that after a turn, it'll get rid of any status effect. So that means that Kakuna is always playing it safe.
You know what? And
so he doesn't catch feelings.
Yeah, well, or any other venereal disease. But that means if things don't work out with Dr. Mr. Fuji, that he can get rid of that toxic vibe. Yeah. Okay. So, second date for Kakuna is a yes for you.
It's so deep, I didn't even realize.
Will be. So, Beedrill.
Lord have mercy.
Okay, this guy I met in karate class. He showed up one day and he says that he's been training at, quote, another school. And, he's a new guy. He asked me on a date, and I'm like, well, I don't want to scare him off from karate school. I think, yeah, come on.
You don't want to scare him off?
Ooh, factual. He did show up with javelins for hands, but...
But I just want to say, I think we can all agree that this is the guy who everyone wanted to go on a date with.
Yep.
The first day he showed up.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, he definitely did. He seemed cool, and he had, all these interesting stories and stuff, and so I was like, you know what? I don't want to scare him off. I'm not ready to go on a date because I'm still, not over the death of my husband, Blastoise. But I'm going to go out with him. I'm going to go out, and he's going to take me for a walk in a park. And it's nighttime, and the date just continually gets sketchier. But I realized toward the end, when the gang of Kakuna show up, that they're actually his cousins. And the only reason he beat them up was because he paid them to be there so he could look like a bad bee, right? So I'm thinking, when I find out that not only are his other quote-unquote martial arts trainings fake and all this stuff, the hotness goes away from me.
So at the end of the day, you realize that it was you who was the bad bee all along.
It was me! Yes, no, absolutely. Beedrill is not getting a second date.
I would like to point out that when he shows up with his Kakuna cousins, that I will be there in the park.
Oh, no!
And I will say hi, but I'm not getting involved.
You'd be like, go get him, Daddy! All right, so we have Mr. Crime.
Pidgey. Okay. So let's be honest, Pidgey's kind of ugly.
Oh, no! I think he's cutie.
No, don't lie to him. He knows he's ugly, but you know what?
He's got the goth makeup, but that's as far as he wants to go as the eyeshadow.
Okay.
He doesn't want to commit to the look.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So he knows he's not attractive, but he makes up for it in personality. This dude is fly.
Literally.
He's fun to be around. And deep down, when I met Pidgey, I knew that I would probably never date him, but I was here for the ride. And so yeah, he asked me if I wanted to go back to his place. And our first date actually is in his mom's basement, and we like, you know, I don't know if I can say like smoke weed or whatever on this channel, but you know, we hit a couple hits.
Hit some recreational drugs.
Yeah, we play the Nintendo Switch. You know, probably like, I don't know, Mario Party or something.
Ooh.
And yeah, we just have a good time and cuddle and watch a movie and pass out.
Pidgey strikes me as a Pikmin type of guy.
Ooh, yeah, Pikmin Bloom.
Mm.
So, second date for Pidgey.
Yeah, but like I'm not serious about it.
Okay.
I'm probably leading him on.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, his abilities include keen eye and tangled feet. So I think he's clumsy, but he realizes what's happening.
Yeah, but he's also here for the ride too.
Oh.
And he's also has a lot of hope though. He's like, well, maybe I can change his mind.
So no second date.
No, second date.
Oh, second date.
Just
okay.
not serious about it.
Dr. Mr. Fuji.
I think with how my last two short relationships went, my friends probably introduced me to Pidgeotto, thinking that he was a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I'll be honest, Pidgeotto's just like, Pidgeotto is the where's my hug boy.
Like, yeah.
He's the guy who hits on every girl without fail.
Because he used to be an ugly Pidgey. Is
Yeah.
that okay?
But once he got that haircut and committed to the look, you know.
He's got that Jersey Shore guy haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got the samurai.
He got the
look.
so what happened is as a Pidgey, he knew he was striking out all the time.
Yeah.
And so he went and looked at all those what do you call them? The guys who tell you how to hit on women and stuff like that.
Gays.
No.
The alpha males on YouTube.
Yeah, those guys
who call people sheeple.
the ones who are always talking about betas and
Oh
how
god.
everybody's got to be the macho
Wake
man,
up, sheeple.
and telling you that negging women is how to get their attention and stuff like that. You know. And the result is a Pidgeotto.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it's not so much that I want to date Pidgeotto, it's that I'm trying to get my friends to leave me alone.
Okay.
And so I go on the date. And I think that Pidgeotto takes me to, like, a local place.
Like a pub or.
Like a dive bar. Like a hole in the wall where, like, a punk band that nobody else has heard of is playing. And they're never been good, and they're not going to go anywhere.
Does he buy a T-shirt for that band?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. He knows the people in the band.
Oh. Yeah, of course.
But of course, nobody else in town knows who they are. And I'm gonna say we went on, like, he made sure we were going at happy hour on whatever night it was that I would get free drinks.
Yeah.
You know? I'm gonna say no on a second date with Pidgeotto.
Okay. So, I mean, that's understandable why there would be a no. And also because it doesn't seem as though he's grown any in his abilities. He still has keen eye and tangled feet.
Yeah.
So.
Clumsy.
Very clumsy. So, Pidgeot. Alright. Still keen eye and tangled feet. Not a lot of character growth. But the glow up, incredible. This man is sexy, and I'm going to tell you where I met him. Paul Mitchell School. We're both getting $10 Wednesday haircuts, okay? He comes in with no hair.
Okay, my question is, do you get the same haircut?
Honestly, I kind of want to go back to it, so I probably will. But the problem is he showed up with no hair, like really short hair, and by the time we left, because I was kind of like eyeballing him the whole time, and I know he has a keen eye, so he was like seeing me, seeing him, you know? He got these extensions. They're blonde and like red orange, and at first I wasn't vibing it, but then he kind of hit me with one of these like hair flips, and I was like, he's the one. And we walk across the street to the California pizza place. And we have a thin crust pizza, which I'm not big on. I'm a stuffed crust girl. But no, he's hot, and Yeah, you know what? Second date all day.
You know, I didn't notice until this picture, but Pidgeot's got kind of a dad bod.
Maybe that's why I like him. He reminds me of Blasty a little.
Reminds you of Blasty?
There will never be a love. The way I loved him. In his little spaghetti stained tie. So yes, there will be a second date with Pidgeot, but I don't tell my parents about it.
Sick of it.
Mr. Crime!
That buck tooth, though. Oh my god. Alright. You know, I just realized that everyone we've been on a date with so far has been male. So maybe Ratata is gonna be female.
Okay.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart. Poor Ratata. She grew up in the trailer park. She's a trailer park princess.
Mm-hmm.
And her parents couldn't afford braces.
Oh.
You know, she's like trailer park cute. You know what I mean? She, I don't know, smokes menthols on the weekends. Likes to joke around about how she can't math.
Oh god. Hashtag I did a thing.
Yeah. She drives a green F-150 2006 Ford.
With like a rust stain in the back.
Yeah. And she thinks that it makes her like, you know, cute and edgy. Like she's driving like an old like classic.
Does it have like like a vinyl on the back that says like "Girl Run and Own" or something like that?
Either that or like the deers that are in the shape of a heart.
No.
Yeah. And she even, true story, she even wore camo to church on Sunday.
Kill me. Was she the only one?
Mr. Crime with these word pictures.
What?
Like, you know Ratata. Like,
absolutely.
You have convinced me that you 100% know Ratata.
What? No.
Hey, if you're listening to this and you know who he's talking about, he doesn't like you.
Oh my god. That's not true.
Well, tell us if you go on a date with her then.
Hey, I just don't want to date you is all. Well, actually, I haven't even gotten to that part. So how did we get on our first date?
Yeah.
So where did you meet?
Yeah.
Because you described where Ratata was.
Okay, so we met at the gas station.
Oh my god. And it's nothing named It's not like Circle K. It's
No.
snappy food.
So let's just pretend I'm a straight guy or something.
Okay.
So we met at the gas station, and she was just wearing like these really short Daisy Dukes, and I was like, oh my gosh, she kind of thick. And I was probably a little bit intoxicated. I think I was just drinking beer or something right before I came.
Just a little buzz.
Yeah, and I think I ran out, like my cooler's empty, so that's why I actually came to the gas station to buy another 6-pack of like Bud Light or something.
Okay.
Because all the other crap tastes like water. Anyway, so she's at the counter, and I'm like, hey girl, you're looking kind of thick today. And that's how straight guys talk, right?
Yeah, it is right now.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
and.
Yes, and she was like, oh my god. And
I will say that Ratata does kind of look like she's twerking.
Yeah.
Look at them rats with the Daisy Dukes on.
She has no modesty, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just, anyway. I'm like, girl, you know, I got these beers that aren't going to drink themselves.
Oh!
To my place and help me drink them. So
that's mask.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she comes over, and we have like a little bonfire, and she gets to meet all my friends that are all there, and then we do a train on her. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
You know, there's a little truth in every joke. Confess. Did you run a train on Ratata?
You'll have to ask her.
Oh, if you're listening.
You'll have to ask Brittany.
Shoo! Is there a second train ran on her?
Yeah, I think she hits me up on Snapchat randomly one day, and after I've like ignored her for months on end, she catches me at the right time, and I'm like, you know what? I think I could hit her again today.
Yeah. Do you call the friends though, or is it a single thing?
Probably just a single thing, because it's kind of like late at night, and you know, I just want her to myself, because you know she kind of cute, and I like to take care of my girls.
Okay. All right. I see you. So Raticate. Okay. Honestly, if we're going with the female thing, I'm gonna say that this is Ratata's aunt. Okay. This is her aunt. She's in her 40s, and I happen to be. Huh? Oh my god, I did. I totally forgot you. I'm sorry,
She was
Sean.
just so excited to
You go
date
ahead.
the Butch
So-
Eradicate.
I accidentally skipped the train here because I got so excited about Raticate and
And what them
I
teeth
mean,
do.
listen.
oh yeah.
Like, I probably would not have swiped right on Radicate, so you're free to take this one. Like,
No, absolutely. I mean, how we met is I was actually at Mr. Crime's party where he met Ratata, and
It was lit though, right?
it was lit. I mean, like the music, the red Solo cups. You know, I don't drink. I don't drink, but I really enjoy watching y'all get sloppy. So here's what happens. Okay, you run off with Ratata, and like I don't know, her dukes are getting kind of low. You know what I'm saying? And her
your boots are
aunt.
getting daisied.
Oh, nasty. Well, her aunt shows up, and it's Miss Radicate here, and she is mad, and she's like, "Where's my niece? Where is she?" And I'm like, "Ooh, I got to cover for Mr. Crime." So I'm like, actually, they just ran to the store to get some more, what are those papers called? Black and Milds." They went to the store to get some more Black and Milds. Why don't you come inside? We'll come inside and we'll have a non-alcoholic beverage in the living room. And the next thing I know, she starts telling me about her massive life experience, and I just realized how much she has lived. I agree to go on a date with her, and you know, I'm thinking like I'm kind of confused, like emotionally. Because I'm kind of like sexually interested in her, but at the same time I'm kind of like, I don't think I'm gay. Like, she's just really masked. You know what I mean?
She's kind of butch.
She is really butch. So we go on a date to where would Radicate take me?
The salty spittoon.
Ooh. Yeah, you know what? It's a knockoff, like really rundown seafood shack. Like, you're certain that they hid the score. You know, like the
Health inspector.
the health inspector score. They've hidden it somewhere. Okay, there's literally rust on the walls. The more we talk, the more I realize she's been lying the whole time, and I don't have a good time. She pays for my hush puppies, but I don't go on a second date.
The least she could do.
Mm-hmm. So, Dr. Mr. Fuji, we have Spiro.
Well, Spiro strikes me as, first of all, somebody with anger problems,
Mm-hmm.
which, you know, I'm kind of used to. I don't know. I think we probably met Spiro at a concert, like a heavy metal concert.
Heavy metal,
Okay.
really.
Yeah. And like Spiro goes from like headbanging with everybody in the pit to dive bombing everybody in the pit.
Oh,
One of those.
Yeah. But like literally dive bombing because Spiro can fly.
aggressive.
Yeah. And you know, in my younger days in the pit, like I would be impressed by that. Now I'd probably see it as kind of obnoxious, but you know, maybe it's reminding me of my youth, and Spiro's a little bit younger than me. And you know, the last date I went on was with Boy Picciotto, so
Oh.
you know,
You got a rebound, yeah.
it's not so much a rebound as like I'd like to actually date somebody interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I go out with Spiro and we go to like I think we go and like go to like one of those local Audubon places.
Ooh,
Like
she's fun.
yeah, Spiro's
Ooh.
very much into
I feel threatened.
Spiro's very much into the adrenaline junkie thing.
Okay.
Not so much my thing, but every once in a while it's fun.
She's short and cute. I'm loving it.
Going by the feathers, she probably has a, you know, the mustache going, but you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd probably go on a second date with Spiro.
Okay.
Like, up until that point where whatever car Spiro's driving, I ride with them one time,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, we don't crash, but there's paint missing from the car by the time
Oh.
we're done, you know? Like,
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think at that point, Like,
She forgot you're not on the Audubon anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like after she kind of gets over her like heavy metal concert days, she kind of looks like someone who's gonna speak to a manager.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She's gonna complain for you whenever you order your food, and that's wrong.
I mean,
Still no pickles.
we haven't got to that point, so, like, you know, just let it ride.
Yeah. Okay, so Spiro is a second date.
Yeah.
Biro.
Firo, oh my gosh, wow.
Looking a bit familiar.
Oh.
Yeah, Firo.
Who else did you go to high school with?
No. Okay, let me think. Who is this Firo? So, okay, Firo's a dude in this scenario, and he is one of those dudes who started a band in high school.
Is it a good band?
He thinks it's great, and they like play small shows, and because they're actually getting a little bit of attention, it kind of like snowballs, and so like a lot of people in this small town are like supporting them, which makes them seem greater than what they actually are, so it kind of all goes to his head. So he thinks he's great.
Sounds like somebody I saw in concert when I went on a date.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. I was like,
This-
have they sold at least one T-shirt?
Exactly one.
I'm pretty
They
sure
had 4,500.
Spiro.
They were certain.
Spiro was definitely in one of these concerts, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he's a man whore. Because he thinks that he runs the show.
Does he?
No.
No.
Well, I think he does at first until I go on a date with him, and then I realize he's kind of
He bee-drilled you.
but he missed all the good spots.
Oh.
He's just like, he's focused on himself, and it wasn't great. And also he gave me herpes, and that was unfortunate.
Did you get cream?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good.
It wasn't great.
You need to hang out with somebody who's got shed skin.
Oh.
Right? Where's Cocoon at? He does get a second date because I have herpes, and I think that I'm stuck with him for the rest of my life. And then after the second date, I'm like crying my eyes out, and I'm like, this can't be my life. And then I find out that there's an app where you can date people who specifically have herpes. And also I start to learn that STDs are stigmas, and we should not worry about them. You can live a normal life with them. And so I move on from Firo and use him as a life lesson.
Wow, that is mature response that I would not have had to that scenario.
Somebody who's distantly related to me had another relative who actually contracted AIDS. And, when they started going to a support group, they found out that it was actually more like it turned into a dating circle for people who had AIDS in town, because they knew that it was safe to sleep with each other.
Yeah.
Dang.
Which is, I think that's fine if that's,
Keep
what
it.
everybody's going in looking for. But if you're looking for a support group, and that's not what it is.
It's almost a trap.
It's like everybody put your keys in the bowl when you walk into the meeting.
And I mean, if that's what you're looking for, that's great. But, maybe put it in the flyers.
Yeah. Okay, so Firo gets a second date out of self-pity. Yeah.
Yep.
So up next is me. I got Ekans, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm on a train, and I'm heading to my first semester at this new school. I've gotten really great grades. It's really prestigious. I'm there with my two best friends and my owl, and somebody busts into the train cart and just starts bullying us. And I'm like, who even are you? And the guy's like saying his name backwards, and apparently I'm the only one that can understand it because he's like a snake or something. So anyway, I get him out of the cart, and everything's fine, and we get to school, and we get put in different classes. He ends up in Slytherin, I'm a Gryffindor,
What?
but it is the absolute taboo love that pulls us together because God help me, he is so hot. Okay? He is so hot. He has shed skin, and his intimidate, just like from the moment I saw him on the train, I was like, he's going to be bad to me, and I like that. So, yes, my owl and I do go on a date with Ekins to the lunch hall during one of the really nice Christmas scenes that they had in the movies. Where all the Christmas trees are floating above the long tables. Yeah. So we sit by ourselves, and I hold his rattler, and it's a nice date. We probably go on like 3, but it doesn't last because it's toxic, but I know that I have a type, so at least that's important to recognize.
So does that make you Professor McGonagall now?
Does she have a type?
I don't know. Pretty sure she's Gryffindor and you are a professor.
I am Professor Broke. I am. Okay, so Ekins, yes, second date. Arbok.
I'm gonna say I met Arbok at an S&M club
Ooh.
that my friends dragged me to. That because I would never go in by myself, like. But this is one of those like have you ever gone? Like you have that one friend who everybody believes is a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you prove it is by taking them to a certain kind of club.
Yeah.
We had a friend who we knew was a masochist.
Ooh.
But to get them to admit it to themselves, we went to an S&M club together.
Okay.
And I meet Arbok there.
Charbok. All right.
And she doesn't even need a riding crop. She's got the tail.
Ooh.
She's very confident,
Mm-hmm.
very tall.
Ooh. Yeah, 11'6".
Yeah.
Wow.
And I always like it when, like there was a saying in a book that I read that if a woman's hips ain't got something to put their arm around, what's the Ruth in it?
So you just like her neck is her hips now?
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that's her torso,
Oh God. Yeah, it sure is, isn't it?
Plus, each Arbok has a unique pattern on their.
Well, it says there's 6 variations.
Yeah.
But they're all frightening, apparently.
Yeah. But plus, I mean, what that tongue do,
Oh, she want to speak that parcel tongue to you?
Yeah.
Like Snake-O Malfoy?
I think, but I think we go to, as our first date, one of those restaurants that serves you like the organs of animals that people eat, but they don't eat as often anymore.
Chicken feet.
Well, not just chicken. Chicken feet's pretty common. I'm talking like brain, eyeball, liver. Like
I'm from the South. You can't freak me out.
I'm just saying there are specialty restaurants that do like exotic meats and stuff like that.
All right.
One time my friends and we got like I have a friend who like every couple of years will throw a party and we make a meatloaf out of as many meats as we can. So everybody brings a different type of meat. And like we're encouraged to bring something other than like beef or lamb or pork.
Yeah, like a shrimp.
What else is there?
Well, like we were trying to get zebra or lion, but it's extremely expensive to import
Jeez. That sounds sad.
it. I mean,
Sounds like a sad meatloaf.
it's pretty interesting. But anyway, that's it. I think we go to an exotic restaurant. Like where part of it is the shock value, but also part of it is to like take value in the parts of the animal that we don't normally eat.
Okay.
Still skipping tripe. You're not gonna do it.
No.
Like, I've tried it. It's not happening.
Okay.
I will eat an eyeball again before I eat tripe.
Again.
I will eat.
Keyword.
I will eat an eyeball before I try tripe again. Okay.
I don't know. You already said again.
Right.
Well, we know now.
Anyway,
You're nasty.
that said, Yeah, I think Arbok gets a few dates.
Good.
I'm not super into the S&M thing, and I have a problem with taking directions, so I don't think the Dom thing works for too long.
Well, why can't she flip the role? Versatile Dom.
I mean, some people just have a way that they work.
Why do I feel like you went on a second date because you couldn't tell her no?
Ooh, scared of her?
I'm not scared of her.
Intimidated.
I'm a little excited, you know.
Using Harden?
Yeah.
You're exploring.
Either way, I think this lasts for a while. Like, Kakuna and Metapod were excitement. Not really into Pidgeotto. Spearow was fun. I think this could potentially last as a mature relationship.
Okay.
But I guess it depends on where I'm at.
It's gotta grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a second date for Arbok.
Yeah.
Mr. Crime.
Hey, that's me, Pikachu. Okay, easy. Pikachu and I went to school together, like
Oh, boy.
probably college, and he just has such like a radiant personality. He's super charismatic, and everyone is just drawn to him. And you know, he like the moment he gives me any attention, I like fall. Yeah, I fall like flat on my face, and I'm like, wow, I'm obsessed with this guy. And so I like go home, and I'm like anxiety ridden, and I like can't stop thinking about it. I'm like, oh my god, like does he like me? Like did I say something stupid? And anyway, I like slowly like flirt with him every time I see him, and like, you know, we add each other on our socials, and he likes my pictures, I like his, and I like concoct this plan to get my friends and that are friends of his to all go out to a bar and tell them to invite him just so I can get closer to him. And it works. We go out with all of our friends, and I buy him a drink, and we talk and we chat, and I like confess my feelings for you. I'm like, oh my god, I think you're so cute, blah 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 blah. And he's a little hesitant at first, but then he goes with it, and yeah, so we end up hanging out after that. You know, we go and grab sushi burritos, and we never end up dating though,
Oh,
unfortunately.
no.
But yeah, he was a fun person to be around.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? You had fun while it lasted, and I think you learned a lesson along the way.
Yeah. I asked him to go on a second date, and he flaked.
Oh, no.
True
I
story.
mean, Pikachu's got, you know, a lot of irons in the fire. you know?
Yeah, genuinely.
He's got options.
So, that is a no for Pikachu, which that's a plot twist. I guess I have Raichu, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, Raichu, I gotta be honest with you. Like, when we were in middle school together, he was kind of nerdy, wasn't very cute, and it's not like I was ever mean to him, but I was hanging out with people who were mean to him. So I think he kind of grouped me into that crowd. We got older, we got into high school, and he started to get a little cooler, and I was like, yeah, okay, I see you, but still, I've got this image in my head of middle school Raichu, okay? Prior evolution, we're talking about, like, you know, ugly Pikachu, you know, whatever. So, time goes by. I graduate high school, and he goes off to trade school. He's like a mechanic now or something. And we meet up, happenstance, just happen to be at GameStop together. And I'm looking at the Nintendo Switch games, and he has no business in the Nintendo section because he doesn't own a Nintendo Switch. He was like in Xbox or somewhere, like whatever the cool hot guys play, you know. And he's like straight up aggressive. He says, hey, I remember you from, you know, school, and I've always thought you were really cute. Would you like to go on a date with me? And I'm like, I'm stunned. And I'm standing there with my copy of Animal Crossing, just like, oh my god. And he's like, well, if, you know, you don't have to if you don't want to. And I was like, no, absolutely. So I start talking. He's like, let me buy that game for you. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with this. And he's like, no, I'm gonna buy it for you, and then we'll go back to my house and we can play it together. I just bought Animal Crossing 2. And I'm like, You know what? Okay. Now, if you'll remember, I said he doesn't have a Nintendo Switch. This man picks one up off the shelf, grabs his own copy of Animal Crossing. We go back to his place, okay?
Okay.
We're at Raichu's place. We're playing Nintendo. And I can't believe how incredibly aggressive he is. This is nice. But the end of the night comes, and, I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs, and I'm like, well, guess I, got work in the morning. And he's like, yeah, well, I had a really good time, so hit me up. And it was gentlemanly, but I'm left confused. So, I'm going to say that I would go on a second date with Raichu. It's just I'm waiting for him to call. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You're like, wait,
I
am I
would like
hot
to
enough?
point out that this is a thing that Raichu told you to hit them up. Like,
Yeah.
you're waiting around for Raichu to call
I
you.
know, like, I have these self-confidence issues because I'm like, he's so hot, and I've gained a little weight since high school. You know what I mean? So
I'm just saying, that's how a lot of opportunities get missed.
I appreciate you trying to talk me into calling him, but I think give me another week and I might send him a text message.
I mean, let's move on.
It didn't work out.
Yeah, no. So I'm going to put second date, yes, but only because I want it. Sandshrew.
Okay, so Sandshrew, always one of my favorite Pokemons.
Mm-hmm.
I think I met Sandshrew at a convention of some kind. Like, Sandshrew strikes me as the type of person that collects something that's not super mainstream.
Okay. Like
Like-
Metazoo or...
No, he's not collecting cards.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not collecting coins or stamps.
Why did I think stamps instantly?
Yeah. And nothing, I don't think he's collecting anything weird like Nazi memorabilia.
Thank God.
I think he's collecting, like,
Rocks.
That's what I was thinking.
But no, that's too mainstream.
yeah, rocks are pretty commonly collected. I think he's collecting something extremely specific, like feathers from birds that live in a specific region and only fall off of them during a certain season.
Wow.
Is he autistic?
Wow.
Wait, can I say that?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we're not making fun of autistic
Yeah.
people. They have very
very specific.
specific interests.
But I think I meet Sandshrew here, and I'm like hanging out with, like I have a lot of friends who like birds, you know. So maybe we met at like an ornithology convention or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and he's part of a group that like they have that very specific interest.
So is he trying to get over Firo or something? Is that why he's collecting these feathers?
No, he's just that's his thing. That's just he got interested in it one day and just like went down a rabbit hole because like he found a feather one day
Wow.
and he was
Did
just
it give him herpes?
no.
Okay.
Wow. Here's his like only one.
It's just me? Okay.
I think I meet Sandshrew at the con, and I don't think we're going on a date. I think we're just going bird watching at first. But then about halfway through, like, Sandshrew reaches for my hand. And I'm like, you know what? Okay. You know,
Oh my God, this is perfect.
like, Sandshrew's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very timid. Not really my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like someone who's more confident. But,
Like a Raichu.
Raichu's all bluster, in my opinion. But Raichu kind of earned it, you know.
Yeah.
That said, I think I hold Sandshrews hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we find one feather that Sandshrew didn't have,
Ooh.
Okay.
and Sandshrew insists that I take it with me.
Aww.
And it's
Who
something
cares?
that it's like, this isn't going to be around for another year because the season's about to end.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to, but I also don't want to insult Sandshrew.
Yeah.
So I take it, only on the condition that next year we meet up again and we find one for
Oh
him.
my god, this is perfect. This is like that sad movie about the letters in the mailbox through time. Yeah.
So I think we do go on another date.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm going to date Sandshrew,
Yeah.
but I will be there to help him find a feather.
That's
sweet.
perfect. Like, I love that. This is my favorite. Where is Steven Spielberg? Direct this.
Cast Sandshrew.
Cast. Okay, so that is a definite, what I would call a second date for Sandshrew. All right, so let's wrap it up here for episode 2, and we will see you guys in episode 3 to continue this journey of so much fun, yet so wrong and borderline illegal at times, but we'll cross those paths when we get there. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing so I can continue bringing you more of what you want to see.